Hello, everyone. It's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Aptera dropped the November update, which I wasn't sure they were going to have a November update, but they did drop one and they dropped it on Thanksgiving. And actually, it's one of the better updates that we've seen. Last month's update was awesome because we had a driving PI vehicle. But in this one, they have a couple of big announcements. And what the part I liked the most was you could see all the parts that they have on hand, which really gave me the feeling that like we're getting very close to like getting that PI4 built. All right, so let's watch it together and we'll talk about it.
Hi Aptera fans, Steve here. Happy Thanksgiving. I've got some big news to share. From January 7th to January 10th, we'll be showcasing the very first production intent Aptera at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. This is your chance to see the real deal, the full production intent vehicle, and meet the extraordinary team who brought this vision to life. We've been working tirelessly and we can't wait.
Okay, so we knew about the CES announcement, and if you look yesterday, I had a little video on step-by-step ways that you can sign up and register using Aptera's code. They have about 1,000 codes, so I think that's plenty. And so a couple of questions people were asking is like, can I bring my significant other? Yes, that's fine. You can do that. You can sign them up the exact same way, put them in as an Aptera investor. Shout out to Robert from Utah for putting together that step-by-step guide on how to do the registration. But yeah, I hope to see a lot of you guys at CES. I think CES is going to be very important. A lot of exposure there, and it gives them a firm deadline. And I think people work well with firm deadlines on finishing their vehicle, and they know that they need to make a good impression. So I think it gives them a deadline that they need to hit, which an external deadline is always better than an internal deadline because most people just work better that way. Internal deadlines can be kind of pushed off. External deadlines cannot.
For you to see the years of hard work it's finally coming to fruition. We're also planning some exciting community events near the Las Vegas Strip during the week of CES, so stay tuned for more details as we get closer to the show. Don't miss your chance to grab a free CES ticket before December 5th, available to the first 1,000 people who use our coupon code.
Yeah, so go to that website, get the coupon code, and then if you're having problems figuring out how to do it, you can watch the video.
CES is an industry event, so it requires credentials. If you need help securing your ticket, I encourage you to connect with the other community members. If you're attending, be sure to wear your limited edition Aptera CES gear to represent your involvement in the future of solar mobility. Every shirt you wear helps us shine a global.
So I bought one of these t-shirts because I plan on wearing it there. I think the idea is to have as many people wearing these t-shirts at CES so that the other attendees see the t-shirt and are like, what is that? And then you can tell people, oh, it's in the central lobby foyer area. You can go check them out. So having hundreds of people wearing these t-shirts or hoodies or whatever is going to just expand the exposure for Aptera. So they're hoping that we are going to be kind of walking billboards for them. And I think it's a great idea. So definitely want to help them out with that.
Spotlight on the mission we're all a part of. So let's show the world the passion behind Aptera. Now, here's a behind the scenes update on what we've been up to. November has been a game changer for us. The team has been working around the clock, including weekends, to build the very first series of production intent vehicles like these behind me. We're building.
Okay, I want to go back there. So I think this is like what I first noticed when I saw the video. There's 3 of them. It's not one, there's 3, and they're working on it concurrently. I believe this one straight behind him is PI2. I'm guessing this is PI3, and maybe this is PI4, because this one has the chassis on, and I figure, well, maybe this is PI4. I don't know. But this one has the chassis on. This one is just the body. And this one is the one that looks the most complete. So I suspect this is PI2. This is the drivable one.
Build the very first series of production intent vehicles like these behind me. We're building them simultaneously and speeding up the process.
So here's one of the chassis, I guess before they mounted the body, or maybe this is the chassis for the one that doesn't have a chassis yet, the one we saw on the left. But yeah, every time I see one of these chassis with the gleaming metal, it looks amazing. It looks really cool.
With each new build by applying what we've learned from the last one. Earlier this month, our fantastic Italian partners from the CPC group were here on site bonding the remaining binks. Now they've done a stellar job aligning and perfecting these bodies for the next step in assembly. Thanks to our Italian partners, we've completed 3 vehicle bodies reinforced with production intent metallic components, like the roll cage to enhance strength and safety. Each door is aligned perfectly with uniform gaps. PI2 is getting outfitted with the necessary thermal components for high-speed testing, while the frame for PI3 is complete.
Okay, so PI2 is gonna get high-speed testing, and so I think that's gonna, my hope is that they get that all done before CES. They need to get that testing done and the range validated, and they can make a very strong value proposition for investors and for buyers at CES once they validate it. That's been one of the biggest complaints of people that are skeptical of Aptera, is that the range numbers, the efficiency numbers, they've all been, and the performance numbers have all been theoretical. They've been, I mean, they're theoretical from modeling, which is quite good, but you can't, nothing as good as real world testing and real world validation. And that's what they need to do with PI2. And it seems like that is what they plan on doing. And I think that there's a good chance they have it done before CES, because there's a strong incentive for them to get that done before CES.
Complete and attached to the bink, we've got production intent lighting ready, from the main lamps to the wheel pants and complete interiors, including the center console and the door.
Okay, this is stuff we've never seen before. Like, here's the cup holders, and here's like looks like a grill for the speakers and stuff. So these are parts, they have them, they're sitting on their shelf. So like what I was wondering is, like, do they even have these parts? Are they waiting for parts from their suppliers for to come in? But in this video, we see that a lot of parts, in fact, it looks like the vast majority of parts are already there sitting on their shelf, which is great.
Enters, all set for installation. We're just waiting for a few final parts to arrive and expect everything to be on site by early December, and then we'll dive.
Okay, so early December, they think everything's going to be there. For my guess is PI4 is the vehicle, the complete vehicle with a complete production interior and a complete production exterior. That's the vehicle that's going to be at CES. That's what I'm thinking.
Dive into the final vehicle assembly for CES. Our partners at CTNS have also been making incredible strides on the battery front. They've been on site building the next battery modules.
So as you can see here, these are like little wires or ribbons. I don't know what they want to call them, but this is different than the other one that had the bus bar with the connections already built in. So they're showing this again, which makes me think that this is the one they're going with, but Steve describes it later on what's going on.
For one of our PI vehicles. Now these modules are ribbon bonded, as our design supports either laser welded ribbon bonding or ultrasonic wire bonding.
Okay, so there he goes. So he's calling this ribbon bonding, and this is laser welded. And then the other one where the bus bars are actually have the wires built in, which looks to me cleaner and easier to do. That one's ultrasonic welded, and it looks like they're gonna go with both processes. I think going with both processes maybe gives them more flexibility in the types of cells they can use, so that the battery pack is kind of agnostic to what exact battery cell they're using. So they could switch suppliers, but their process would still work with different kinds of battery cells. That's what I think is going on. And so that's kind of a smart move, because they're not locked into one specific cell, and the specifications can change slightly in terms of the geometry of the cells, and they can make it work by switching processes if they need to.
We're planning a signing ceremony with our chosen cell supplier for mass production at CES, so stay tuned.
Okay, so at CES, they're going to announce their actual supplier. So for a long time, we thought it was Eve Energy, and maybe, that's been a couple of years now since that agreement was signed, and maybe that's changed now, because maybe a different supplier has offered them a better deal at this point. But we're going to find out at CES who their supplier for the initial run is. And I think, again, like I said, looks like their battery pack design is agnostic to the exact cell manufacturer, so they can switch suppliers as they need to. And perhaps, a lot of people are hoping for like lithium iron phosphate battery cells, and personally, I think that's a better battery cell, and I kind of wish they would have gone with that at the very beginning. Um, and if they can find battery cells that are the same kind, like similar geometry to the NMC cells, maybe they can switch it out and make it a lithium iron phosphate battery pack in the near future. That'd be great. I'd be very interested in lithium iron phosphate battery pack for multiple reasons.
For an exciting announcement in early January. The frames are ready, the bodies are ready, and the parts are arriving.
Yeah. So see, there's just I love seeing all these parts. So there's like the that looks like the license plate holder. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that is. But the parts are arriving, and they're sound confident that it'll be early December. So I'm guessing like they must have tracking numbers and stuff already, and they're coming in the next week or two at the latest.
Driving daily as we push to complete these vehicles.
Yeah, here's the rear view mirrors
Before the end of the year. This means PI2 will soon have a full exterior to test efficiency and range.
Okay, so that's their plan. PI2 is going to be their range and efficiency test. Now, I kind of, initially, I think PI2 was supposed to be kind of this sort of ugly mule that doesn't have the exterior surfaces for doing more of like the powertrain and suspension testing and that kind of stuff. But it looks like they're changing that to make that test kind of a lot of these things, including the range and efficiency. I think they're going to end up building fewer PI vehicles than they initially thought. They thought they were going to build like 11 to 16. That's going to cost, I think, more money than they're having, and probably due to some funding issues, which they kind of touch on here. So I think they're building less and trying to get all the validation done with fewer vehicles, which is, I think, a capital-wise move.
And we'll have the first full interior and exterior production intent vehicle revealed to the public for the first time at CES 2025.
Yeah, you guys should really try to come if you can.
We're thrilled to have you all on this journey with us. Thanks to your incredible support, nearly 50,000 pre-orders and 19,000 investors, and your unwavering passion for solar mobility, Aptera has gone from an idea to a reality. As we close out November and celebrate Thanksgiving, we're incredibly thankful for our Aptera community. Your support and passion and belief in our mission have been the driving force behind everything we've accomplished so far. It's because of you that we've reached this pivotal moment. Now, over the last few months, many of you have asked us, how can you invest in Aptera as we move closer to production? In response, we've relaunched our crowdfunding campaign, giving our community the chance to have a direct stake in our success. To learn more about investing in the future of solar mobility, visit invest.aptera.us.
All right, so they're reopening crowdfunding. I have kind of mixed feelings about that. One, Aptera's always been a crowdfunding company. This is how they've gotten here. They've raised the vast majority of their money through small investors through crowdfunding, which in one way you can think of it as a good thing because it gives the public and regular people the ability to invest in things that they believe in, the things that they believe is important. And I think Aptera has tapped into that desire to look for something that's efficient and good for the planet, or has things that regular people are looking for, and people have responded to that, and there is a strong community of people that support this, and that's how they've gotten along. Now, what's become obvious at this point is that large investors have generally stayed away from Aptera. We've been hearing for years that there is several large investors that are interested, and they've never materialized. This U.S. capital was supposed to be the thing that springboards them, but as far as we can tell, and we haven't heard anything officially from Aptera, and I suspect because what we're hearing tangentially through the SEC filings is what's actually happening is that the interest is high, but the actual commitments to investments is low. Um, so I believe that if they're, this was launched 2-3 months ago, um, and they thought that they would close this out in 2-3 months, but it's nowhere near being closed out. And they've raised less than 2% of their $60 million goal through this U.S. capital, as far as we know. There may be a lot of things coming down the pipeline, but it has not been wildly successful. If it had been, I'm sure that we would have heard of it. Like if they funded the 60 million in the first month, that's something to toot your horn about, and we would have heard about that. So I don't think that's happened. Now they're reopening the crowdfunding round. Now it looks like what's happening is that if you have a small investment of like $1,000, they've increased the share price to 14.80, and then if you invest more than 25,000, then the share price is the old share price of a little over $10. And I think this is kind of to give the feeling that the share price is going up. In one way, the company is farther along, so you can make an argument that the share price is going up because as the company is farther along, the risk is theoretically less. But personally, and I'm not an investment professional and I don't know how to do valuation, I just think this share price is high compared to comparable companies out that are already on the market. What I kind of wish would happen would be, there are these companies like Hive and EquityZen and Forge Capital. These are companies that basically have a secondary market for pre-IPO shares. So people that are generally like, this is designed for people that, let's say that they worked for Aptera, they have a lot of pre-IPO shares as part of their employment agreement, but they're not liquid. And then those of us that we've invested in these pre-IPO shares, ours are not liquid either. But these markets allow you to buy and sell these pre-IPO shares. And what this allows you to do is it lets you know what the market or a market feels like the real value of the shares are. So for example, like let's say someone bought these shares at $10 a share. They're pessimistic about the company, and we've seen these people in the comments. They're like, "Oh, I've invested, but I feel like it's not going anywhere, and I've lost my investment." Well, this would allow them to sell their shares. So there's still people that are optimistic about Aptera, and they said, "Oh, I would sell my shares for $2 a share, or $4 a share, or $5 a share." And then they would at least recoup some of their, if they sold it for $10 a share, they would recoup half of their investment. And then someone who's optimistic would be getting shares at a discount. All right, so let me know what you guys think about this crowdfunding thing. Do you think that there's a lot more to be gained from doing the investment through crowdfunding? Like, are there going to be a lot more people that are willing to invest large amounts of money through crowdfunding, or do you think that we really need to find a large investor or go through debt financing or something like that? Yeah, I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Probably my thoughts are a little bit more on the pessimistic side than most of the community. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Of course, I'm a current investor. I want them to succeed. I would like to make money on my investment, and plus, I want to have an Aptera, and I want this channel to grow. So for many reasons, I want them to succeed. But I'm like kind of a pessimist or realist personality wise. So maybe that's why I think this way. But I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. All right. Well, that's pretty much, I think let's wrap up this.
Accredited investors can take advantage of a substantial stock discount.
Yeah, so
it's
the
worth checking
$10.
out. Seeing these vehicles come together for the first time is nothing short of amazing. And we can't wait to share that excitement with thousands of Aptera fans at CES. Together, we'll show the world what solar mobility is all about. Till next month.
All right. So anyways, I thought overall it was a great update. That seeing the parts there is really great. And the finding out that they're going to do the validation testing with PI2, that's awesome. We're all going to look forward to the numbers on that. hopefully they release that to us soon, or as soon as they have them. And then we're gonna see a completed vehicle at CES, and hopefully they make a really positive showing there. And I really hope that a large investor comes in, either between now and then or immediately afterward. There has to be someone who believes in this mission, who has the kind of capital to help out with this. It's a great project, and for many reasons, we need to see it come to fruition. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.